the scar tissue, we're not talking about getting rid of anything. We're talking about using Wolfe deep tissue or Wolfe non-surgical, and it's a technique I teach. And to go in and remember something, the fibers should be like this, right? Where the blood flow, the lymph flow, and the energy flow, right? But they become like
Mm-hmm.
this, and they become bound up, and they actually shorten. And as they shorten, okay, like here, you see, as they shorten, your length would shorten, wouldn't it? Your flexibility would shorten, right? So
Right.
if I tie a knot in the rope here, is it longer or shorter?
Shorter.
Right. So you thought when you did a twist, because on a subconscious and a habitual level, which is your body's the unconscious part of your brain. Did you get that? Your body is the unconscious part of your brain. So when you do something enough, it becomes a habit. That habit gets infused in every cell of the human body. So you were
Okay.
used to doing a certain stretch, not a certain twist, and your knee was able to to stretch out a certain length. But then you went and tried to do the length you usually do, but you don't realize that it's shortening because of the inflammation causing the scar tissue that's causing it to shorten. So you don't have that flexibility.
Oh.
So then what you did was
Okay.
you actually tore it, a bit of micro tearing.
Oh.
Okay, because when we get the scar tissue, it's like beef jerky. So it's not like an elastic band, right? So what we
Right.
have when we're younger is this. You can stretch it out and it comes back to shape, right? So you
Mm-hmm.
go to stretch it out like it should have, and you go to stretch it out, and guess what? Oh, look at that. You just ripped it.
Mm.
Now,
Okay.
if your muscle was the way it would be, then it would be flexible. But without this flexibility, you're tearing. So, all right. So what I would like you to
Okay.
do is you can sit on a chair, right? And what you need to
Okay.
do, oh boy, we're going to have to show this someday. Like once we get really rolling with different shows, I'll actually show how to go in and a person can work on their own knee. You can't work on every part of your body yourself unless you do one shot therapy. And we have a technique using a shot glass that you can go in and start breaking up the scar tissue. But understand something that you have to understand. Everybody that you know is limping, or if they're not limping, they have a disease, or their memory's going, or this is not normal. In nature, none of this is normal. This is all
No.
conducive to modernization and to actually big fat lies. So understand this, that the medical system is not a health system. Okay, and understand this, that, and when I say this, people are going to go, well, who doesn't he want to put down? But understand this, that most, not most, but a lot of functional medicine doctors that are even in natural health care, they don't understand health. Let me ask you a question,
Mm.
Nancy. Do you get outside? Do you go outside for the first, as soon as the sun rises, and do you get out there for at least 20 minutes to 30 minutes and just do sun gazing and to have bare feet and grounding if you can? And I know if it's colder, you can't. And then do you make sure that at every break, instead of taking a smoke break, pretend you're a smoker, and then take a 5 minute break every hour and go out and go out into the sun? You have to understand something. The sun, without the sun, we die. And the sun,
Mm-hmm.
light, what light does is light comes into your eyes. And they say that UVA is bad for you, UVB is bad. But none of this is true. Your eyes will actually slow the light down. And it only takes 3% of one and 12% of the other in. And what happens is, it's all these light frequencies that actually heal us. People think that that's actually
Mm.
supplements and food first, but it isn't. Light is the big one, and we're going to be getting into that pretty heavy in the quantum leap and the energy medicine shows, because people need to know
Okay.
this. But the reality is this: to fix that knee of yours, you can do a couple things. You could put the knee
Okay.
underneath, and you could run hot water, not hot burning, but warm water that it's comfortable but soothing on the knee for 3 minutes, and then run ice cold on the knee. And you do that like 3 to 4 times, finishing with cold. Because believe it or not,
Okay.
That cold water actually excites and tightens up the actual proteins that are surrounding the mitochondria that help to create more ATP in the cell to help to heal your knee. So, and also the vascular flushing, the warm, opening it up, the closing of the cold is getting rid of any of the toxins and exercising everything on a cellular level. You can also do this. You can go, let's say if you come home and you want to watch TV, read a book, or do something like that. Get yourself a cotton flannel, soak it down with castor oil, wrap that around your knee, put a heating pad around your knee for about an hour. The castor oil is going to help to draw and really just soothe it and bring in the blood flow. You know, throughout the day, I've already told you to use our Pain Away Plus essential oil and rub that on there. If you've got a problem, listen, people, everything, if you want to just turn off your computer for now while you're on the phone with me, Hans. All right, Nancy?
Okay, I don't have any. I'm just on my phone.
Okay, well, okay. So when you're using our Pain Away essential oil, when you're using the DMSO, you want to use the DMSO 3 or 4 times a day. If it starts to get red or a little irritated, then back off a little bit and then use our structured moringa oil because that'll help to nourish it, okay? And back off on the DMSO a little bit, but use the Pain Away every 15 minutes. When you have an injury, it's not 2 or 3 times a day. It's every 15 minutes. And what happens is, if you've got a 20-foot hole, why do we give people a 5-foot ladder? So if you actually did this, you would call me and tell me that the knee's healed, like that fast. So what happens is people will go to the doctor, they'll get medication, or somebody will tell them to do something little. The thing is that practitioners don't tell people to take control. So, and then make sure there's no dairy, there's no gluten, there's no beer. Beer is the best way to ruin your knees. Okay? And it's because, I know, but it's because of the fermentation of the yeast. Okay? So, and make sure you've got a clean diet and, of course, lots of structured water. And if possible, you know, make sure you got the black gold and doing the cleansing tea. You want to reduce that toxic load, right? And the other thing is guess what? I want you to do something. The next time that you get stressed out this week, because you do, okay? When you get stressed out, watch 10 minutes to 15 minutes later, your knee hurts.
Really? Okay.
No, I made that up. No, it will. It'll hurt. It'll hurt.
It'll
like, I want you to be a conscious observer of that beautiful God-given body of yours. I want you to understand that, guess what? You cannot trust yourself. Did you get what did I just say?
That I can't trust myself.
That's right. And why can't you trust yourself? Because you're not yourself until you have unconditional love for yourself and you make yourself first and foremost so that you can show the way for your family. And as long as you're making decisions that you're overworking yourself, stressing yourself out because someone else is in pain, this is called the family curse. So you need to really watch your mind, okay, when you do this. And, you know, respect that leg, okay? I'll tell you something right now. I'm in good shape, but I will tell you, I'm 62 years old, and right now what I have going on is every day I am right now rehabilitating my ankles, my knees, and my hips, and my prostate area, okay, which is my groin. So every day I'm getting a treatment. And I will tell you that within 2 to 3 weeks, I will have my lower body will be back in the shape of a 20-year-old. And that's it right there. Well, yeah, I don't care who the person is. You give me 20 hours that we can work on all the joints of their body, and we're going to have them back to their youthful state. The thing is that people, oh, I haven't got the time, I haven't got the money, when actually I know I'm talking to their subconscious that believes that they're not worth a nickel 95. Okay. Meanwhile, where do you think their money goes? Everybody's money goes somewhere, doesn't it, Nancy? So everybody has the money to do these type of things, but the amount of love they hold for themselves is about as much time or as much money as they can spend on themselves. Now, if we had somebody else in the family that was injured or hurting, and I said to you, Nancy, that, this person that you dearly love, if you don't drive 1 hour every day to the hospital and then home every day for the next 9 months, okay? And every day you got to come up with $100 and you've got to give that to the hospital when you get there. This person will be dead. And you've got to do it for 6 months. I'm not saying that's how much money a person would spend, but I'm trying to show you something. Would you go to the hospital or would you let that person die, Nancy?
Well, no, of course I'd go.
Well, that's right. But when it comes to you, would you do it?
Yes.
Well, then you're very unusual because people will not do that. They will not do it for themselves.
Really?
No, they will not. People will not do it for themselves. And you know what? People can say it, but I've been in the business now for what? 37 years? This will be 38 years. Coming this October, I've been in the business 38 years. And I will tell you that people will not do it. But they will climb a mountain, swim a river, and walk through fire if it's a family to prove their love. Because what we do is we look to be filled up with love, and we get our gratitude by doing things for people, and then they tell us we're amazing. Whereas we should be already amazing and fill our own hearts up, and then still help people out, right? That's how it should go. But you have to understand that that's the whole area. I mean, if you actually were taught, Nancy, years ago that you should love and honor your body, you would have found a way to just keep it always in a youthful state. I guarantee that you've overworked, you've overtaxed your body, and when you feel like you're guilty of something, that you punish yourself. How am I doing?
Right. You're right on.
Okay, so that's what you are, is you're sucker punching yourself, and that's what you're taught to do. But anyways, let's get back to you and your knee. Is there anything else you want to talk about? You know that if you do the curcumin cayenne 5000, you're reducing inflammation. You know that if you do the black gold, you're reducing tons of inflammation, and you're feeding your good bacteria and cleaning up your small intestine, reducing heavy metals and parasites, right? So everything.
I don't have the black gold. So
okay, now everything is about terrain. So when you go to bed, is your Wi-Fi off?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yes, and everything's unplugged by my bed.
And do you get up in the morning first thing right now because your knee is bad and go on the floor and do the lion heart breathing and do slow stretching for your leg, for your knee before you start?
I don't do the stretching. I do the lion heart breathing before I get out of bed.
You need to do some stretching, okay?
Okay.
Slow stretching.
Okay.
No, slow stretching. Like when you take the breath in and out, you'll feel your muscles start to lengthen. And do you have a belly button therapy device?
No, I haven't gotten that.
It's okay.
Yet.
You don't have to. You don't have to. But it's just good for really releasing the dopamine, okay, and serotonin.
Okay.
Okay. The more we're in charge of our dopamine, right?
Okay.
Any other questions?
Now, how often do I do the castor oil flannel wrap?
Oh, well, you can do that every night that you're going to be chilling out and relaxing. Okay.
Okay, one time.
Yeah.
Okay. And when can I do the rebounder and the core twister again?
Well, no core twisting until the knee is strong again. And as far as the rebounding, you could go on the rebounder and just go like a slow walk. Just do a slow walk. We're not on there to get our cardiovascular up. We're not on there to try to tone our muscles. We're on there to move our lymph. Because if you move your lymph, then you're going to be taking the toxic load off and you're going to help the knee to heal, right? But we're not going to stress out the knee until the knee says, hey, I feel really strong. Thank you very much.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. And what about going up and down a lot of steps?
Going up and down a lot of steps? Because that's what you do for your work, right?
In my work, yeah.
Well, here's the thing. If you're going to do that, you better be putting the Pain Away on. You better be putting the Muscle Restore. Okay, the Muscle Restore goes on the back where the lymph nodes are. And then the Pain Away would go on the other areas. Okay?
With the DMSO?
And with the DMSO. And if you feel it's painful, you could use some peppermint because peppermint will numb it out. And and it'll help you with it. Okay, so you can do that. All right, but it's like this. If you find that you're your knee is feeling a little bit stressed, sit on the floor, do your lion heart breathing. It takes you 1 minute to 3 minutes. And then just
I know.
don't try to stretch the knee out. Just breathe and let the breath stretch the knee out and let it relax and get the blood back into it. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And how long do you want me to do this with the castor oil and the pain away and the DMO cell?
Well, I want you to just continually do it for about, when you do a knee problem, you're looking at a minimum of 30 days.
Okay.
Okay? You know, it's when people push things and they don't honor and love things. You know, things blow out like knees and joints and muscles and our emotions blow out when we don't know how to lovingly give attention to that part of the body.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Well, there's a couple other products. I just placed an order, and I think while I was talking to you, I got a text that they just got it together. So I probably can't. It's probably too late to include the black gold. And
Well,
the
when
pain
did you
away.
order? When did you order?
I just ordered Saturday. Remember, Lori took my order, and I just got a text.
Yeah, they're
I don't know
gone.
if
It's
you
gone.
just-
But you'll want to take
too
a look
late,
at
yeah.
you'll want to take a look at the black gold.
I have that on my list to order
I
on
have it
Friday.
in all my water.
Yeah.
You'll find out when you start taking it. You'll feel the difference. I'll let you be the
Really?
judge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Any other
Well,
questions?
thank you so much. And Dr. Wolfe?
Yes.
Hello. Oh, can I ask you one other question? We can discuss it later. If
No, go
need
ahead.
be.
You can ask me.
Okay. I have, and I've had it for years that I know of, like a little pulse underneath my eyebrow.
Like
It's
right
like
under
a
here, a pulse?
Yeah. Well, I know I don't have a pulse point there, but that's
No, I know,
what
but
it looks
what
like.
happens is that what I want you to do here. Let me see. You see this Thieves Plus oil bottle, essential oil bottle?
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Just bear with me 1 second.
Okay.
Okay. Omi, can you take this? Because this is a call from India. So when they call, just put them on hold. All right? Okay, and just have them hold until we're done. So this essential oil bottle is called Thieves. Well, it doesn't matter what the bottle's called, but it's got a rounded bottom. Do you see? And you have one of our bottles, right? Our essential oil bottles?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
So next week, if
a
you
lot
have
of
time, you can call me, and then you can tell me, and you can tell our audience. But what I want you to do is I want you to just take it right here. Is it up in here? Right here? Is that where you're getting the pulse? Right there?
I can't see you, but it's right underneath my eyebrow.
That's right. So what you're going to do is
Right
take the...
right underneath at the top
Yeah.
of my eyelid.
Yeah, I know. Just watch me. You see what I'm doing? Are you watching?
I can't.
Okay.
No, I can't. I don't.
Okay,
see
go
you.
back.
I don't have.
If you can, go back and watch the show. Okay.
Okay.
And then you'll see me and you talking. Okay. So what I want you to do is you're going to take the bottom of the essential oil bottle because it's rounded, and you're going to hold it with your hand, and you're going to go in, and you're actually going to feel there's bumps along your eyebrow underneath, and it feels like just nice little bumps, and you're going to go in there, and you're going to find a crystal or a calcium deposit, and you're going to actually go in and break that down. Okay.
Okay.
And you're going to find it because when you push on that crystal, it might even give you a little bit of the same nerve pain, right? Or the same pulse. And so you're going to feel it, and you're just going to break that little thing down. And then it might even bruise this area a little bit. Don't worry about that. And then I want you to wait until the bruise is totally gone. And then you're going to do it again. It's not like a big black bruise. That's not what I meant. I just meant it's going to be a little tender. And then what you're going to do is when it's totally gone, you're going to redo it again. And guess what? It'll be gone. It'll be gone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another little miracle.
Okay.
Understand something. There is not a pain in your body that you cannot get rid of. Let me tell you something. All right? We can heal from all diseases, but not everybody can heal. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. We don't have the capabilities because we don't have the belief systems. All right. So you have to understand something. When people's subconscious is more powerful than the love they hold for themselves, that is the biggest battle they will ever have. And that's why people need to do the Braveheart course, to do the 12 loving steps every day. If they do that, it's just called repetition, because repetition is the master of everything. And the only reason why people are killing themselves today is they've been repeating killing programs, hateful programs to themselves each and every day, because we were created by God Almighty and we can heal ourselves if we're doing the right program.
Okay.
All right.
Well, thank you, Dr. Wolfe. And I'll go online and see that.
Please.
I'll try it.
Okay.
So, thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, you're welcome. Have a beautiful day.
You too.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye now. All right. So, hello.
Hello. Hi. Is it good evening or good morning over there? I think it's good morning, Dr. Darrell. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. How can I help you?
First of all, I'm glad we got through finally. It was not easy trying to get through on this number. We had a few questions, my husband Adi and myself. I think when I had spoken 2 weeks ago, we had some, we were experiencing some trouble with our 10-year-old oldest son. We have
Yeah,
two sons
and if you
two
can,
daughters.
I'd like you to speak as loud as you can, okay? Can we
Okay.
hear it, Omi, okay? Speak as loud as you
Okay.
can.
Okay,
Yep.
right. So here we go. So this is for my son, my 10-year-old.
Yep.
We have been experiencing quite difficult situations where probably he's just very soon to be getting onto his teens, but just a difficult behavioral pattern, and we were at a loss on how to manage or handle him. So things like him just
Okay, can I stop you for 1 second?
sure.
Okay, so I will just lovingly interrupt if you don't mind. First of all, you cannot manage him and you cannot handle him.
Okay.
How would you like to be managed and handled?
Lovingly.
Well, no, we're not. You would not want to be managed or handled. You would just want to be lovingly taken care of. So I think that you might find that maybe you're not really sitting down and listening to him. Like, when's the last time that you sat down and you just let him talk and you listened to him? And you just let him talk without interruption.
Okay.
No. When? When was the last time?
I don't remember.
That's right. There's the first problem is that you are dealing with someone that's actually, are you ready for this? Children are smarter than adults.
Right.
Children still have a genius mind. Adults are adulterated and programmed. You are going to treat your son, and your husband are going to treat your son like your parents treated you. Now, I know your parents loved you. That's not what we're talking about. I want you to write down the things, the way that your parents treated you, that you liked and what you didn't like, and you're going to find out you're doing the ones that you didn't like as well.
Definitely I am.
Would you consider your son to be an equal to you and your husband?
Equal to myself and my husband.
Yes.
No, because no, I
Well-
don't think so.
Well, there's the problem. My children aren't equal to me. I have adult children that live at home. I want from them what I would do. Like, I want to keep the kitchen clean. I want to be respectful. I don't like people coming home drunk. I don't want people coming home high. I don't want areas of the house that I live in to not be beautiful. Our home needs to be a healthy, loving zone where everyone learns to love and respect each other. Now, I'm not saying that it's perfect here. Okay, I've got 3 adult children at home right now. It's not perfect, but guess what? If we don't lose it, we don't raise our voice. And when we do raise our voice, it's very short, and it's something that we know that they're endangering themselves. So, that can happen. We can raise our voice. But, logic. Do you tell your son what to do, or do you teach your son what to do?
Mostly tell him what to do.
Yes. And guess what? If I was 10 years old right now, I would be a terrorist for you. I would put my heels in because you are asking him to give up his spirit. You're asking him to give up his identity. Listen, what age did you have to give up your identity? And be honest. What age did you have to give up that beautiful spirit of yours because your parents wanted it?
I don't quite remember, to be honest.
Well, you know that you did, didn't you?
Perhaps. But
Well,
again, I'm still thinking, I don't know if I'm really doing that to my son.
well, you know what?
I just need a help.
Until we think about it. So why don't you and your husband think about the way you talk and you react? Because it's your reaction that creates his reaction.
Right. So how do we help things out now? I'm so at a loss that I feel at times I've totally lost him, because he's exactly two opposite at times. At one time he is such a perfect person. He can be the best. He can
Okay.
clean up. He can listen. And the other time he's just the opposite.
Okay, here we go.
Attention seeking. Yeah.
Yeah, but if he's attention seeking, it's because he feels he's not being respected. If he's attention seeking, then there's a reason for that. Okay? So does the father wasn't living at home, but he's at home now?
Yes, he's here for the past over 10 days now.
Yeah, but how long has he been gone?
2 years totally, but between that he was in and out. He was visiting us for a month or
Okay, so guess what? So expect your son to be in and out, like the father. How's that?
Okay.
All right, now next thing. Let's talk about some things. Do you have Wi-Fi in the house?
Yes, we do.
Is it kept on at nighttime?
I was turning it off regularly for some time.
And now you're
But,
not.
yeah, because we had my sister over, and we were, communicating day and night on WhatsApp. So we had to have it on. That is why. Otherwise, I usually turn it off.
Well, then you're compromising your children's health. There you go. So understand something. Have it on 24/7, and then the child never goes into REM sleep and never has a proper sleep.
Right.
Okay, what time do
Turn it off.
your children go to bed?
It varies between 9 to 9:30 sometimes.
Okay, so sometimes 10 o'clock, right?
Yeah, perhaps.
Oh, well, that means yes. So now he's 10 years old, right?
Yes.
That's too late.
Yeah.
Okay, so now
Then
next
he cannot
question.
wake up in the morning.
Does he play Nintendo?
Once in a while. We have reduced that quite a bit.
No, you need to reduce it completely.
Okay.
All right, does he watch TV?
Once or twice in a week, maybe.
Okay, here's the deal. If he's gonna be on a telephone, if he's gonna be in front of a computer, if he's going to be playing Nintendo or any type of games like this, you need to go online and buy blue blockers. We sell them, but just go online. You're in India and look up blue blockers. You cannot be on a phone. You cannot be on a computer. You cannot watch a TV that's LED unless you have blue blockers on. Whether you want to believe this or not, especially with children, you are damaging their mitochondria and changing their whole mood system. Okay, the more that we embrace, I need you to understand something. If your house does, how close do you think you can get your house to nature? The closer you can get your house to nature and natural, the more natural your son's going to be. You have to understand something. If he's playing around with technology all the time, and you guys eat a lot of flour products, right? And do you?
Yeah.
Well, then you can expect.
I've reduced a lot. But
No. I'm gonna.
one more thing I wanted to ask you about. Sorry, I cut you off, but
You can cut me. It's okay to cut me off. That's fine. You didn't cut me off. It's good.
No, about the flour. When you said, I remembered I wanted to ask you about how much turpentine to start with for my 4 children. I'll give you their ages and.
We'll do that. We can do that another time on WhatsApp. Okay.
Okay.
Let's just stick with things like this. First of all, how much chemicals are under the kitchen cupboard, in the garage, and in the home right now?
When you say chemical, do you mean a lot of flour?
Chemical cleaners, things of that nature.
Okay, lots of it.
Get them out of the home right now. And the other thing too is, guess what? If you truly, truly, truly want your son to have a better chance and a better relationship, hardwire the computers and only turn the WhatsApp on, because you can do WhatsApp on I know you have to do that on a phone, but you can do Skype on a computer, and you can hardwire the computers so that you don't have the Wi-Fi on 24/7. Am I right or wrong?
You're right.
So just guess what? Convenience is killing you guys. Okay? All right, so let's talk about your son. I know we can talk about the emotional things, but let's talk about your son's diet. Let's go through the day. So what time does your son get up?
Because if he sleeps late, he wakes up by about 7:30.
Okay, but hold on a second. When I ask you these questions, you know what you're going to do? You're going to tell me what the best day is, and I want you to tell me what the worst day is, because people always lie to protect themselves. So I need you not to lie at all, and it's not you lying, it's your subconscious lying to protect the way of life that you have. So your subconscious will get you to lie, so I need you not to lie. So your son will wake up usually at what time?
So I'll give you the best day first. The best day is when if he sleeps early, then we are trying to do swimming in the morning. So he keeps his alarm. This is the best day, and he wakes up by 6 o'clock, and he helps me to get all my other 3 children. No, the youngest one doesn't go. So my other 2 children ready.
Wait a
for
minute.
swimming.
Well, we need to. Okay, now it's my turn. So he helps you get the other 3 children together?
Yes.
Are you praising him every day for that? Are you really?
Only when he does it.
No.
Like I said, when he is good, he can be the best, and he is the best.
Yes, I know that, but guess what? You only praise him when he's the best. So when you don't give him attention, what is he going to do?
Ask for negative attention. That's what I don't know how to handle.
Well,
And what do I do when he's trying to disturb or irritate or annoy another sibling just to get our negative attention?
well, I know,
That is
but
something I don't know how to do.
did you ever sit down with him and say, what's upsetting you right now? And why are you in a little bit of conflict with your sister or your brother? What did they do, or what's going on inside of you? I want to know because I love you. Or are you going, behave, stop that now? Which one?
The latter.
Okay, then. Then he accomplished what he needed. He finally got to control you.
Yeah, he knows when he can tick me off. And
Okay, first of all, you need to understand something. He's not some kind of manipulator. Right off the bat, you need to know that the subconscious is the actual manipulator if there's manipulation going on. And understand his subconscious was actually created by his mom, his father, his grandfather, and the rest of the adults around him. So you are looking at the end product of what all the adults act like in your family. How do you like it?
it's true.
So here's the deal. As far as I'm concerned, all the adults that live in that house need to go into counseling because they don't know how to actually communicate with God's little children.
Yes. Because I noticed this behavior more so since I've come here 2 years back. It wasn't so bad. There were a few times when normally children do, but it has gotten worse now. I think also, as you mentioned, because his dad wasn't around all the time. But it's just getting worse at times, and I feel bad. I understand him.
I know, but you know
At the
what?
same
You're,
time,
excuse me, you're treating a 10-year-old as if they are already an adult.
yeah,
You are expecting him to grow up now, grow up fast. And then he sees how you actually lower the beam down on him quicker than the other children.
that's true.
You know what? If I were to talk to him and he were to be honest, he would say, the other children in my family are loved more. And that's why he picks at them.
He says that nowadays, that you don't love me as much as you love the other children. And I said, no, that's not true.
Well, you know what? You've demanded for him to become an adult and not to be a 10-year-old. So what do you want?
How do I help it now? I'm so lost.
Well, first of all,
Speak to him.
okay, first of all, the way that I think that you can handle it is, okay, if you want to do this, we can do a consultation. It needs to be your husband and you and him. And we do a consultation together because I want him to understand that he is loved 100%, but his parents are screwed up. I'm not going to tell him you're screwed up, but I need to get it into his...
For you to say anything to him, because he knows I'm going to be speaking to you tonight. He went to sleep. Even before he went to sleep, he said, Mama, if you're going to speak to Dr. Darrell Wolfe, can you please ask him? I have a cracking neck for a while and it's not very comfortable. It's not that it's hurting, but not very comfortable. He said, can you please ask him for me? Because I told him, look, we are having these, not issues, but Mama and as in Mom and Dad are facing difficulty in understanding you. So we are going to ask Dr. Darrell.
Okay, first of all, I just want to say something too. I was just trying to see if I get a reaction. But you didn't screw up. You have to understand something, that you were taught how to raise your child by other people that raised you. And they were taught by other people that raised them, and they didn't raise them with unconditional love. You have to understand something. Depending on a person's religion, depending on a person where they went to school, depending on their mom and their dad, and the environment they lived in, will depend on the way they treat themselves and their loved ones. Look, until you're willing to look at yourself, you and your son will never get along. Until your husband is willing to look at himself, then he will never get along with his son. And guess what? Right now, your son may seem like the problem, but I guarantee you that if your son was a perfect child, you and your husband would have relationship problems right now, but you do not notice them because his screams are louder. Because his screams are louder. Do you understand? For children to be dysfunctional, it means the parents are dysfunctional. Now listen, it's not about guilt here. It's not about guilt. Because guess what? You have always loved him. You have done everything from the bottom of your heart. But what if you were given the wrong parenting manual? If you were given the right one, you wouldn't be on the phone with me. You would be teaching me how to look after my kids.
No, I think you've done a fantastic job. We've met Sage and we have been so amazed, and he's such a lovely person. So I guess you have done 100% with parenting. So that is why we need help from parents like you.
But I didn't do 100%. Sage taught me how to be a loving parent. I was not a loving parent when I started having children. I was what you would call a nice guy, and everybody who looked at me would say, oh, he's such a great parent, but I wasn't. I thought I owned them, and also they were a burden sometimes to me. And guess what? You believe you own him, and sometimes he's a burden to you. And guess what? He feels being a burden unless he's doing your bidding.
Yeah, I want him to do what I say because it makes life easier. Because there's
Did you hear what you just say? Did you hear what you just said? I want him to do what I say because it makes my life easier. Let me tell you something. What if you are telling him things that are unreasonable right now? Or what if you're telling him things in the wrong manner? What if you're saying it in a controlling way? You know what? When I talk to my children, and they're adult children, I go, look at, guess what? I respect you. But guess what? I'm 62 years old, and in 62 years, you got to know I've made a lot of mistakes, and I've also had a lot of successes. So I would, you can learn from me. But I still know you're going to make mistakes. If you're not going to allow your 10-year-old to make mistakes and then just sit down and say, what did you learn? I love you so much. Or if they run through the house and they break something, you don't hit them. You don't punish them. You go, look, there's no more running in the house. Please don't cut yourself with that. I'm going to clean it up. Okay? But the thing is we want to play outside. You understand? We need to do things differently.
Right.
And you know what?
Where I feel I'm really lost to handle things is because if he was just the one, but with 4 children, it's mostly when somebody else is hurt or somebody else is crying, that's when I'm at a loss. I have to pacify the other child as well as make them understand that whatever Big Brother has done is not meaningfully to hurt them. It must
Okay,
be
first of all, if the Big Brothers caused that, you believe that they caused the child to cry, but you don't know what the little kids are doing. They're probably taunting him because to get him into trouble, because you've made him into you know what you did? You took a 10-year-old. I'm not blaming you. You took a 10-year-old, made him into the father, and don't you dare think that his siblings are going to nag him and tease him when you're not looking so that he makes them cry so that you give him a little bit of hell. So now when that happens, you need to say, okay, let's all sit down here. All kids, come. And the one that's crying, and go, okay, let's all hug together. We are family. So then you're in a circle and you all hug together. We are family. I love you all. And that's it.
He is so different, Dr. Darrell Wolfe, that he would say, I don't want to be here. I just want to. He sometimes he just walks out. That's when I feel, oh my God, I'm trying to make up.
Okay.
And I'm trying to say,
I know that, but you know what? You gave him a job that was bigger than him. You are expecting him to be an adult child. Okay. What does a 10-year-old like to do? And what should a 10-year-old be doing? Pretending to be the father? Or should a 10-year-old be a 10-year-old?
There should be a 10-year-old.
Okay, you're going to fight me on this, but guess what? Every other adult in your house is dysfunctional. And you're all getting together going, he's a bad boy. You're all justifying your own dysfunctional beliefs as being good adults when you're not. It's easier to blame it on the little guy who's not doing the bidding of the adults that walk around grumpy, worried about finances and other relationships. And don't tell me, the older you get, the more constipated you get. The more older you get, the more grumpy you get. You know what, my grandfather took the boots to me a few times. And you know what my grandmother said to me when I was younger? The craziest thing. She said, you know what? Forgive your grandfather. He's not grumpy. He's constipated. And we both laughed. I never ever forgot that. And you know what? And today, guess what? I'm like number one in the game of number two, right? Maybe I'm trying to unconstipate my grandfather that used to take the steel boots to me. You need to understand something. The problem lies with the adults.
So how do we hit this? Do we do a consult with you? Because
well, the biggest problem is how many adults live in a family can really mess things up. All right?
Right.
Okay. So, you know, it really, and then when adults come together and all decide that the child is evil, because that's what he thinks he is. So if he believes he's evil, then what does he want to do? He wants to run away and find people that will love him and respect him. Why do you think he's 10 now? Why do you think by the time he's 12, he's going to be into drugs? Why do you think he's going to go to alcohol? Because he's going to want to try to change his personality because it wasn't good enough for the family. Why do you think we do drugs when we're a child? To change our personality, to change our reality. Hey, you think I'm a good father? My daughter was 13, she's the oldest of the family. When she was 13, she couldn't stand it anymore, okay, in my house because my wife, okay, got into a drinking problem, okay? I won't go through the whole story, but eventually she ran away. I tried to bring her home. She was 13 years old. 2 weeks later, guess what? She's going to be 14. We went to childcare and to try to see if we could get her to come home because what happened was we sent her to a private school where we thought she would be safe. And meanwhile, the private school is called the Vedanta and it's actually in Kelowna here where I still live. And what happened is that the actual nephew of the people, the godson of the people that ran the school, he was an ecstasy dealer. We didn't know that. So anyways, my daughter falls in love with him. He's 16 years old. They get together and she wants to go out with him. And I said, no, you can't. And I still didn't even know he dealt ecstasy, but no way she was going to go out with him. So she went and they got together and they told the principal, which was his godmother and godfather, that guess what? That I raped her and I've been raping her all her life. So then they didn't tell me that. And then they planned this thing and she ran away to go live with them because she wanted to be with him. And then I went to childcare and I called them up and said, I want my daughter to come home. And they said, oh, isn't that funny? We were just going to come and see you because we were called about you. So they came to check me out to see if I was raping my daughter. They were here for a half an hour and they said, there's no way. It was a psychologist. There's no way you're doing it. And I said, well, how am I going to get my daughter home? They said, well, you can fill out these papers and we can get her home. Because how old is she? 13. She says, when's her birthday? Oh, she'll be 14 in 2 weeks. Well, when she's 14, that's it. She can consent to have sex with anyone. She doesn't have to come home. So then these people who thought they were doing my daughter justice, they stayed with them. She stayed with them. Within 6 months, she was out on the street. She was addicted to drugs, and that was it. I spent $125,000 on doing drug detox, going into crack houses for the next 4 years. And guess what? I never gave up on her. Today, she has three girls, and she's clean, and she has a beautiful husband. And guess what? When she was actually on some of the heaviest drugs, she got pregnant. I mean, how her first child is totally healthy and beautiful was a miracle. And she came to live with us until she was 6 years old. So understand, but we never gave up. You just never give up. And love is the answer. Self-love is the cure. Do you love yourself? Do you understand that you have to be good to yourself so that you can be good to your children? So I told you this story because you need to understand something. Quit putting the blame on a 10-year-old child. Now, is he responsible for respecting and loving his siblings? Yes, he is. but he's responsible. He can only be as responsible as the parents that are raising him. I want to make that perfectly clear here today. Okay? Without guilt. Without guilt. Yeah, but just think.
He's hitting his siblings.
Yes, he's hitting the siblings because he is screaming out. He's screaming out.
But I can't subject the others to it, so I just don't know how to tell him. There are times when I tell him nicely.
Okay, but listen to me. Listen to me. But listen to me. But he's not going to listen to you anymore. Because he feels that you're not listening to him.
Yes,
So
if
it came from you first. So if you don't want to be with me, that's fine. Find somebody that you can consult where you and your husband and him, and where somebody's going to be able to explain to him he's not a bad boy, and that you totally love him and your husband totally loves him, but we all have dysfunctional beliefs. And because your family has never rid yourself of the family curse. Let me ask you a question. Is there elderly people in the family that come over? And do these elderly people get more respect than your children?
Yes.
Then I've got nothing to say. Then you crossed the line on this one. Because you need to lovingly protect your children against grumpy old people.
I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's the part, isn't it? And nobody knows how to do it. And you're not supposed to know how to do it because you're supposed to get messed up, screwed up, buy alcohol, smoke cigarettes, and get anxiety and have to go see a doctor and get inflammation pills and depression pills. And then that's how you're supposed to do it because that helps the economy. Okay.
I have to teach them that. I'm trying to tell them that we have to respect our parents. Similarly, they have to respect us. But
and we need to respect you children. Where was that one?
Yeah, we need to respect.
Let me tell you something. Your parents told you that you needed to respect your elders, and that's all you heard. Well, guess what? That is the problem. Look, if you wanted to say you need to respect your elders, you need to respect me, you need to respect your elders, then you need to go live in a bush because they get to see the outside world and they know that that doesn't work. And you know what? Why should he respect you? Are you respecting him?
Not really.
Well, then there's nothing. Then we're not going to fight about this one, are we?
So I just want him, Ali and myself to do a consult with you as soon as possible whenever you have the time because I think he is very receptive to what you say. He's heard a lot of your talks, and even tonight he was, while Ali was listening to one of your earlier talks, he was quite receptive and listening to it. So he's happy to speak to you. So I would definitely want to get us all together if we can on Skype or whatever so that a consult can help him and us.
Yes, I understand.
So
Understand something. We all were created by the same creator that totally loved us. And until you totally love yourself, how can you totally love your son? As long as you're in judgment of yourself, you will be in judgment of your son. And that doesn't make you bad. It just gives you a crappy day.
Right.
Yeah.
So we will do that as soon as possible.
And you know what? And you know what else? You can call here on Braveheart Nation. I know you're calling from India, so I know that my 3 o'clock show's not great. But you can call here every second week. Start working with things. Listen, your family just had Sage come there and do a personal treatment and training on the Wolfe deep tissue and the non-surgical for 7 days. So everybody there has Braveheart free. So have you got to did you get to Act 2, the 12 loving steps yet?
No, I have just done the first introduction. So I was starting to listening to that while Daddy was around. So we both were.
Okay, first of all, no, we're done. You're not waiting for Daddy. You want to go back and listen to it? You go ahead. The world does not revolve around Daddy. Right now, the world revolves around you. And if it revolves around you, learning about you, learning how to love you, that's the first step. So I need you to listen to Act 2 today, the 12 loving steps, with your 10-year-old and your husband. And you can tell your 10-year-old, what's his name?
Hussein.
You tell Hussein that Dr. Wolfe, Darrell, thinks he's amazing, and that I want him to go through the 12 loving steps with you, and that he's going to be giving him a call, because I believe that Hussein, okay, is going to be a great man someday, and I want to speak to him.
Oh, wow, he'll be so happy to hear that.
Okay.
I'll definitely say that to him.
All right.
And we'll start the 12 loving steps. We will listen to it together.
Yes, and guess what? Stop it, review it, and continually ask your son, did you understand why we do this? Do you understand why Dr. Wolfe said that? And then I want you to talk to him and say, listen, Mommy and Daddy are learning to unconditionally love ourselves totally and to love each other, and we want the same for you. You know, God granted us you. You are the most beautiful, precious thing in our life. And Mommy and Daddy have gone off track, and we need your help, Hussein, to bring this family together, because we believe that you are the most important part to help us all come back together. Make him feel like he should, the little hero, okay? Not the zero.
Yeah, I should do that. We will. Can we put this on the connected to our? Usually, if there's something that we can all listen to together, rather than have it on a gadget. I know a television is also a gadget, but if we connect the phone or our computer to the TV, then my other children can also listen to the 12 brave.
Yes,
12
you
loving.
can. But the thing is you want to go on and find blue blockers for the family to wear when they're when they're on a phone, when they're in front of a TV, when they're on a computer, because it's damaging them. You're going to find out there's a lot of research, and blue blockers are inexpensive. Go on and look at them, okay?
Oh, definitely.
All right.
Are they like glasses?
Yes, they are.
Okay. I will find them.
All right.
Definitely. Thank you very much, Dr. Wolfe. I have sent a list of the medicines that we had received by courier, and I don't know how and when it has to be given, like the zinc, iodine, and the black
Okay,
gold.
but just so you know,
That's
I will take a look at it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take a look at it, and they're not medicines.
fine.
They're
Sorry,
just food.
Supplements.
No, they're not supplements. They're whole plant-based foods. That's all. And I will take a look at it, and I will get back to you by tomorrow. I have 3 shows to do today.
Oh my.
Yeah, I've got a show right after this, Omi? And then I get a half an hour break, and then I have another show I'm doing. So I'm doing 3 shows today. So I'll get to it, and then I'll give you your answer, okay?
Definitely. Thank you very much. It's been so helpful, and thank you for everything, especially for sending your lovely angel, Sage. We all miss him so much over here. We can't wait for him to come back soon, and for you to visit us all in India sometime.
Thank you so much, and you have a beautiful family, know that. And you know what? Understand something. We're all in the same boat, okay? We're all in the same boat, and we're going to help each other get there, okay?
Yes.
All
Thank
right.
you for all your help. Thank you. Good night.
Bless you.
Bye.
Bye now.
Bye.
Well, you were patient with it.
All right. So there you go. Do we have any other calls?
Nope.
All right. Unless we get any other calls, we're going to be breaking off from Braveheart Nation today. I hope you really enjoyed the information. I mean, to the point that it actually showed you that we are all in the same boat and we are all working on this together. And you need to understand something. There is no corporation. There is no government. And there is hardly any health care that is your friend. And if you embrace them, they will be your end. You are the only hero of this story. And you better get that. You better understand there's a hidden practitioner within you. You have genius. You are not stupid. And you are not a bad person. You are an amazing, lovely human being. I want to thank you for joining us here today. And like I said, you can go to docofdetoxshow.com for all the schedule on our shows that are coming up. Braveheart Nation will return 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time next Tuesday. You can go to braveheartlibrary.com if you'd like to introduce your family into what it's like to embrace nature and love. Because until we embrace love, we return back to nature and we understand that we are the solar system. We are the solar system, and that we live off the sun. And the sun is your friend. Take it in as much as you can, and understand that at least 95% of everything that's out there that you've been taught about your health is a lie. And the only reason why you're alive is because you are so amazing. Have the best day of your life. And until we talk again, take care. Hope to see you this Thursday for Dr. Tony Jimenez, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Hope for Cancer Q&A. Have the best day of your life. Create the perfect day in every way. Good day now.